If you were planning a trip to the DMV in a couple of weeks, you'll probably need to rearrange your schedule. Joining us now, Madison County Clerk Mike Kevill, who's in charge of the DMV in that county. Mike, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff. Great to be here.
So let's get things set. DMV offices across New York State, they're going to close, no matter who runs them, the state or the counties like you guys, for a few days, kind of around the President's holiday. What's your schedule? Because it can vary just a tiny bit. So in Madison County, what's the schedule look like?
So you can't say New York State DMV does not have a sense of humor. They chose Friday the 13th to do this change. So on Friday the 13th, our office is going to be closed for the whole day.
Okay.
We're going to have enough paperwork to process that we're going to be busy during that day, and then we'll be experimenting in the new environment that they're going to be creating for our clerks to be working in, which they've been doing a little bit since the last 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
We've been doing various training modules, but we're going to be closed the 13th. State offices aren't scheduled to close till 2. Several county-run offices, what I've seen from my colleagues, some are being closed for the whole day.
Yep.
There's a handful that are going to be open till noon or 2 o'clock. Our reason for closing for the whole day is that the state cannot say with certainty or with any kind of confidence that we'll be able to get our end-of-day reconciliation reports, which means anything we transact, you know, from an auditing standpoint would be really dicey for us.
Okay, and open again, hopefully by maybe Wednesday, possibly later Tuesday for some places?
Yep, so the state offices are saying that they'll be open hopefully halfway through the day Tuesday. Yep. We're going to have our staff work from home that Tuesday and do personnel videos to get up on all of the different types of training that we have to do in the public sector. We're planning to stay closed on Wednesday to get caught up on all of the paperwork we do on Friday to get that into the system. If the system's up and running and people show up, you know, we'll try to take care of people, but the state has done a really good job of getting this thing to the point that it is.
And let's go into it a little, because we kind of dancing around it. There's a major technology upgrade that's going to be happening statewide. So what's going on there? Why are they doing that?
So we have data lines on servers going back 40, 50 years that have not been transferred to newer servers. What they've done for the last 40 years is just patch, add new servers, with new data sets. They haven't done anything to consolidate and update everything. So this is a massive, massive project that prior administrations, prior commissioners kind of, you know, they'd get something started, then they'd kick the can, get something started. Our commissioner right now has really done a great job of seeing this thing over the finish line. And for the first phase, that, I won't call it a finish line, but like that first halfway point is all identity documents. So they're transferring everything, permits, ID cards, driver's licenses. Even if somebody, you know, you don't think about this, but if somebody got their permit in New York in 1986 and then they moved away in the 90s and now they're coming back, they keep the same number when they come back. So we still have records of all of that data, and we need to for national driver record kinds of things and for people coming back. So we have to maintain the integrity of that data going all the way back. We've got people, my grandmother didn't surrender her license till 5 years ago when she was 95.
Oh my goodness.
So you've got them going back quite a ways that we have to keep that data.
All right, let's try to squeeze one more in here. Real ID. As of yesterday, and it was a hot topic last year, but new thing with Real ID, if you don't have one, or another acceptable form of ID, I know you can use a passport, so you don't have to have a Real ID, but if you don't have any of those at the airport, charge $45 now, right?
Yep, so a couple things. First of all, don't try to do it at the airport. The biggest, so what they do is you have to answer a series of questions. If you have a smartphone, they give you download an app on the smartphone with TSA or a third-party company. They're going to take you through a bunch of personal questions that validate your identity. I was told that there are some younger people, late teens, early 20s, that didn't know some of the answers, family history type stuff, or they didn't know the spelling of some things. You get enough questions wrong, you're locked out for 24 hours. Don't do this the day that you go to the airport. If you're in line and you haven't done it already, they're going to pull you out of line or not let you get in line for security until you have the receipt on your device. So your best bet is to do it a day, at least a day, maybe 2 days before you plan to fly. even if it means having to do it twice.
Or possibly just go ahead and get the real ID. A little easier now than it was
Definitely.
when it was jammed up. Yeah.
If you have the time to come in and get the real ID, do that. What I think is happening, though, we're down. The last I heard from TSA was only 3% of passengers coming through the Syracuse airport don't have an acceptable form of ID.
Oh, okay.
So we're doing really well regionally at that airport. The challenge that we have is there are people who just don't have the identity documents to get a real ID. Okay. And for a whole host of, I could keep you busy for an hour. There's a whole lot of reasons that can happen.
Okay.
But for those people, they could get a passport, but a passport is $175.
Yeah, sure.
And people can't afford that. They don't have the right identity documents for real ID.
And if you don't fly that much, maybe the $45, but just do it ahead of time. Don't wait till you get to the airport.
And know that it's only good for 10 days. Gotcha. So if you have a 14-day trip, you know, you're flying somewhere, you're doing Disney, then you're doing a cruise, then you're coming home, you're going to have to pay a second time and get it a second time before you get on the flight to come home.
Good stuff, Mike. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate it.
Very glad to help.
Download the WSYR Plus app on your TV to stream News Channel 9 for free. Just go to your smart TV, search WSYR Plus in the App Store, and download to start streaming today.